sponsored in part by DollarSeed.com for your flowers, vegetables, and herbs. All organic seeds, all only $1 a pack.
ManureTea.com, authentic Haven brand, 100% natural soil condition for the home garden. Squirrem & Worm Farm, organic farm and gardening supply, located in Plymouth, Wisconsin. SquirremandWormFarm.com.
WillowSpringsSoap.com, handmade soap with simple, recognizable ingredients.
The Rain Sauce. Visit the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com and click on the Rain Saucer tab on the left-hand side of the page.
Welcome to the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Extra. I'm Joey Baird. Well, it's getting later on in the year and it's time to harvest our basil. It's going to seed, and I want to catch it before it goes to seed because we're going to take it inside and Holly's going to make us a very tasty basil pesto with it. Now, throughout the summer months you could harvest the leaves as need be, and we're not going to do that now because the plant's starting to go to seed, so we're just going to pull the whole plant up. I'm going to cut the roots off of here, put it in our tray, and we're going to harvest all of these, and we're also going to take some that was on the porch and in the windowsill in the kitchen. And basil, again, is a great herb you can grow inside all winter long. And this should be enough. We're going to harvest everything we got here. We're going to take the seed pods off, but these are some very nice basil plants here. I got 2 of them right here. And basil can be just extremely expensive when you buy it at the store, so growing your own is definitely the way to go, regardless if you have ground or not. So let me get the rest of this harvested here, and then we'll head in the kitchen and we'll make some basil pesto.
Making pesto is simple and easy, and you can use ingredients that you typically have around the home, such as the basil, which you can grow easily in your windowsill, such as this plant here and this plant here. This plant here is a little bit older, and so we're going to harvest it all, and I think the plant is pretty much done. This is a newer plant that we started at the beginning of summer, and then this is some of the basil that we had harvested from the previous day. You can use simple ingredients you have, such as Parmesan cheese, cloves of garlic, salt, and oil. Now typically you want to use some sort of extra virgin olive oil, but we don't have any of that on hand, and for me sometimes it just you know, use what you already have. So we're going to go ahead with that. And in traditional pesto you do use pine nuts. Unfortunately we don't have pine nuts and we don't really want to buy them, so we're not going to use them. I've yet to make basil with pine or pesto with pine nuts, and it turns out just fine. Another ingredient that you may want to add is some pepper. Some people will add that as well, and sometimes I do too, just depending on the flavor. You can make pesto out of kale. You can make it out of lamb's quarter, which is a wild grown weed, and you can even make it out of spinach. But we're going to make a more traditional pesto with the basil here. So the first thing you want to do is you just want to make sure that you have your basil picked off of your plant. Now this stuff is a little more wilted because, like I said, we had picked that the day before, but this is more fresh and it's just easy. You just pluck the leaves off, not much to it. And I'll leave I'll put a simple recipe in the show notes for you so that you can measure how much you need in order to make a traditional basil pesto. So let me just get these all plucked off here and we'll get started. Okay, so once you get your basil all ready to go here, you just put it into your food processor, and then you're going to add some of your other ingredients. If you are adding pine nuts, you would add those as well. And then you also want to add your Parmesan cheese, and then your garlic. Now you can use more or less garlic depending on how you like garlic. We don't mind a lot of garlic, so I add a little bit more. This is some garlic we grew. It didn't get super big, but you know, we have it, so that's what's important. Then you want to just give it a little splash of oil, just a little turn of oil. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. There we go. And then you turn your food processor on. Once it starts to break down, then you want to add more oil. And I'm just going to turn this on and we're going to go. Now, you want to check your consistency. As you can see, it's still quite clumpy. So I want to process it more and then add more oil. Okay, so I'm going to give it one last scrape and then a little bit more of a mix. And then you can freeze this. You can use it right away. You know, use it in a couple days, whatever you want to do. Okay, so now our basil is ready to go, and we can do whatever we want with it. It makes a great addition to pasta. It makes a great something you can put on chicken or pork. You can do all sorts of different things with basil. So there you have it, your own homemade basil pesto that you made from herbs that you grew in your garden or even just on your kitchen windowsill.
When it comes to late season vegetables, sometimes you just let them grow. We've got 2 zucchini plants here that we planted very early in the season. The front one here is still producing zucchinis. We've got several, 1, 2, 3 on this plant, 2 over here, and we'll harvest them whenever they get the appropriate size. We prefer to pick them when they're about 1 inch in diameter and about 8 inches long. On the back plant here, both of them are beginning to develop some powdery mildew. We'll just let that run its course because it's getting so late. On the back zucchini plant, we have 2 very large zucchinis here. These are black zucchinis that we're just going to let grow to the maximum size they possibly can before it gets too cold. Why is that? Not for seed saving purposes, but to make more zucchini relish. If you missed that episode of Canning What You Grow when Holly made the zucchini relish, the link will be in the show notes below that you can check that out. Most people, or at least the people that we've spoke to, like zucchini relish much more than they like cucumber relish. And that's the reason why we've made some zucchini relish, and we're going to let these grow as large as they can so we can get more zucchini relish. And that's a good thing to do if you do have zucchinis that get away from you, and instead of throwing them away, you can use them for zucchini relish. If you like what you see, feel free to subscribe and comment. We put out this particular video each and every Tuesday with a variety of videos throughout the week. I'm Joey Barrett, and this has been a Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Extra. For more information, you can visit the website, thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.